They can sit in there for now. That's fine, thanks, Nashi. No one hits that on their way up, that's not any worry. Sorry, Gav, just where you were again? Just yeah, that's about it. It's about that then. Yeah. At least we got that there, so we can use that. We'll just pop that on. We just test if he can hear you and you can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, I can.
I can hear you too.
You guys keep them on. I just want to check down there.
Okay. She's not the voice.
I'm not the voice.
She's not the voice.
I mean, I am, but I'm not. That's a bit freaky.
Because you can only hear it in one ear.
Say it again?
You can only hear it in one ear.
Oh, yeah, in that ear.
Yeah.
And it totally takes away from the fact that I can hear you.
Yeah, because you
talk
can't hear
normally.
yourself. That's
no.
right.
That's weird. That is weird.
But then last week, we couldn't hear each other.
Yeah.
At all.
That would have been hard.
And we basically had to sit really close to hear each other, especially in the Marlins game.
Yeah, when it's so much noisier.
Yeah, and you couldn't hear anything except for what they were saying. And if you look that way, Lousy's trying to, and then he looked that way, and I'm going.
Because your voices you weren't facing each other to talk.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That is freaky.
Oh, we got Dave on tonight, have we?
Mr. Dave.
He must be doing the men's games because we got Jackie.
Who have we got? Jackie and Chris, that is, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's Chris. Dave.
Not sure.
Don't know who those ones are.
Boys are meant to be coming in tonight.
Okay, it's not coming through real good. That's a bit unfortunate.
Can you hear someone talking to you?
Yeah, I can hear Dan talking to me. He's down in the control room. He talks to me in the other ear.
Oh.
And you don't hear him.
No.
I hear
who are you talking to?
But he can hear everything you say.
Can he now?
Yeah.
So we better not talk about him now then?
Well, she said, she said, no, she better not. I mean, Dan said, no, she better not.
He said, she said, by the seashells.
That's
no,
right.
what's the one? He said, she, I don't know.
Don't even try.
Don't even try.
No, it doesn't work that way.
So he can hear me.
He can hear you, but only intermittently. It's a bit scratchy, apparently.
Scratchy.
Might have fixed it.
Not playing with it, so it shouldn't be scratchy.
But if...
You might want to do a test with Jenny when she gets here, though.
Yeah, we will, if she turns up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've got a stand-in. Yeah, otherwise I do have a stand-in and she's sitting right beside me.
She'd be better off with Izzy. She should know more of the plays and what's going on than I
Put it
would.
back on. Keep going. What do you reckon?
Am I meant to talk?
Yeah, please keep talking.
Please keep talking. I think Izzy would be a better commentator than me because she would know the plays better than I would know the plays.
Oh, it's not about knowing the players, it's about knowing the bullshit.
The bullshit. Most commentating's bullshit anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, well, just ask Trigger.
Oh, that's slow, that's slow.
Or just ask Mr. Jordan Jones.
Ooh, that's even lower.
Is that any better? Yeah, just to let it a little bit more. He's just checking a few things in there. So
keep on talking.
Okay, so Dave, apparently that desk is only for us. It doesn't affect what he hears in there.
Sorry?
He said that is only for us. It doesn't affect anything he's got in there. So
stop playing with it, in other words.
yeah, but he likes to fiddle with knobs. Stop laughing, Dan.
He didn't hear him.
No. But you. Okay, say a few words by yourself, Sarah.
So, fantastic game we've got happening here tonight with our Cairns Dolphins playing the Brisbane Capitals. Dolphins are going to come swimmingly home.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Can I stop now?
18 minutes. Yeah.
No, I'm just doing a sound test.
5 minutes, so I'll go find a laptop and a guest commentator. Cheers.
But it's not live. Yeah, but you need to go and sit down there before my probably. Why?
Because Dad told me to. Emma and Laura.
I was just doing a sound test. Now he's trying to say, oh, when Jenny doesn't show up, I can do it. I said, you'd be better off with Izzy. She'd know more of what's happening than I would.
Yeah.
I was just sound testing.
Dad, Mum asked why I have to be up early.
welcome to Early Settler Stadium tonight, where we have our Ken Frost homes, Cairns Dolphins, taking on the Brisbane Capitals. Joining me tonight in commentary is the wonderful Jenny Evans. Welcome to the commentary, Jenny.
Thanks, Gavin. Good to be back.
Everyone loved your call last time, so we've got you back for another go. Fantastic effort. Going to be a great game tonight. Capitals played Townsville last night, took them to overtime, and only went down by 4 points, so great effort from them. And last weekend, our Dolphins went down to Brisbane, had a win and a loss. A couple of great efforts from some individual players, especially in the Rollers game on the Sunday. Robin averaged 23 points for the weekend and had 32 against the Rollers, so that's a great effort from her.
Yeah, that is a great effort from Robin. Something I guess the team has been waiting for, some sort of input from Robin. So I think she'd be pretty happy with the weekend, with her performance from last week. Unfortunately, India, 6 points in the weekend, or last weekend, so unfortunate for her, but hopefully she's going to come out tonight and make up for it.
Definitely, and Rachel Pryor had a good weekend as well. Myra didn't travel with the team, but she's back on deck tonight.
Yeah, I heard Myra hadn't gone with the team on the weekend, but I'd heard that some of the juniors had been given an opportunity, and they came out and did really well.
Yes, certainly looking forward to an exciting game tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Capitals, as I said, went down to Townsville only by 4 points in overtime. What do we know about their team?
Oh, look, I would say Neves, number 14, she's averaging 12 points, so she played Townsville last night and scored 12 points. And we've got Bethel, number 3, is their import. She scored 15 points last night. So, honestly, I really don't... There's no one in there that I recognise. So, tonight is just pretty much... let's see how they go and see who performs well. But, I mean, if they've given Townsville a great game last night to go into overtime, obviously this is a quality team that's come in to give Cairns Dolphins a game tonight.
So from the Dolphins' point of view, all we can hope is that they're a little bit tired from last night's 5 quarters and they can get across the line with the local team tonight. Doing the team introductions at the moment. Myra, Rachel, the 2 imports, India and Robin, certainly be looking for a big game from those guys tonight. And Jade has certainly, in the last couple of games, turned the corner a bit and been putting up some more shots and scoring.
Yeah, that's right. We've always known that Jade's a great outside shooter, and hopefully she'll continue that tonight. The juniors played last week, that went on the road trip with them, apparently performed really well. So hopefully they'll get an opportunity tonight to prove that as well.
Yeah, so LJ had a good weekend as well, I believe, and we've only got one more home game of this season, which is next weekend. Big finish for the Dolphins to get a couple of wins on their home court before the season ends.
Yeah, let's hope the Dolphins finish on a high tonight. You can only go into some of these games just pretty much looking at it as just like scratch matches, really, or, your extra training sessions, and you want to get something out of these games.
So both of these teams, Jenny, are out of playoff contentions.
Ball movement on the outside. Great rebound from Jade Kennedy.
Cut off by Woodford there. So Woodford actually had 18 points against Townsville last night at 70%. It's pretty good scoring. Only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Tough shot over the top of Robin Perkins' arm. That drops, so we're all tied up at 4 points all.
Rachel to finish off the shot. Great rebound by Jade Kennedy. Now we just need to use the ball and move it around. Once again, another turnover, which is something you just can't afford to do. Great hands by Jade Kennedy.
There's been a lot of up and down the court at the moment, but not a lot of scoring. Unfortunately, the shots haven't been dropping. So we're still at 4 points all with 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. As Woodford finds two points there for the Capitals.
Another great perimeter shot by the Capitals. Right now their shots are dropping for him, and Cairns just has to make sure they take care of the ball and finish off. Great move by Jade. Unfortunate, just not balanced and didn't finish the shot off.
As Bethel finds another two, and it's 8 points to 4. Capitals in front now with 5 minutes 20 to go in this first quarter. And that's another steal by the Capitals as Perkins is robbed of the ball.
Right now it appears, like you said, they're doing a bit of wind sprints up and down, so a few tired bodies out there sucking it up. Great work by LJ to get that rebound. I think they're going to have to utilise LJ in there. You know, she's the biggest player out there right now. Brisbane's playing a zone defence, and as soon as the ball's being shifted, it's opening up the inside area. So Cairns Dolphins will need to look in there a lot more for LJ. Oh.
As LJ picks up a foul under the basket there. Lewis will go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, unfortunately, that should have been the responsibility of the baseline defensive player, rather than having LJ come into her and obviously drawing that foul. Dolphins really need to do a bit more talking on the defensive end. There's been a few players that have had a few perimeter shots without any defense in their face, so they're going to have to do a lot of communication as to who's going to take that player.
As Coach Williams agrees, he wants to have a talk to the girls, and he's called a timeout here at Early Settlers Stadium with a 4-point lead to the Capitals. 6 points to 10, 4.5 to go in this first quarter. As we said, shots haven't dropped for the Dolphins so far, only shooting at 27%. 3 of those shots out of 11 that have gone up. Not great work from the girls at this stage. A couple of easy misses under the basket. Jade wasn't quite balanced, as you said, with a couple of those ones, but it'll come.
That's right. It's certainly not lacking the opportunity to shoot it. We've been getting a few shots inside around the paint, and we've just got to finish those easy shots off, you know. You can't just, first quarter, you've just got to be ready to play, and those shots could be the difference at the end of the game. So Dolphins need to really pick up their act as far as finishing off.
And also taking care of the ball, Jenny. We saw it a couple of weeks ago, a lot of turnovers. They've had 4 turnovers already in the first 5.5 minutes. That's something the coach would have to be talking to them about as well.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you just got to value the ball. It's something I say to all the players that I coach. You know, you work so hard to get the ball back, especially if you're playing great defense, and then just to give it back, without any care. It's all about possessions, and the team that has the most possessions, obviously, whether it's through rebounding, any sort of possession, you want to be able to finish it off. And if you're going to lose it, well, make the effort to get it back. Make a stop. We just needed LJ there just to balance once again, balance herself. You know, use her body, draw the foul if she can. Okay, I would have thought that would have gone Dolphins' way, but it hasn't. So Brisbane Capitals with the ball.
So Reid puts up that long shot, doesn't drop for her, and India Bryant's off and racing.
Yeah, we certainly need India to start performing, and there you go. Fantastic shot from India.
She certainly likes to put up that shot from the 45, just along the outside of the keyway there, and 9 times out of 10 it certainly drops for her.
Yeah, that's India's shot, you know, around the perimeter, and she's really just got to take charge sometimes, you know, not give that ball up and take her shot. That is her shot.
So that's been a charge called on Perkins.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. Considering the defense wasn't... defense did get there, but she was also on the move. So, you know, a questionable foul.
So I think the box beside us has agreed with that one for you, Jenny.
Yeah, we won't say what they said.
So Woodford now for the Capitals, finds Lewis, cross to Reid, who drives all the way through. Great hands from Moki, and it comes off Reid's leg, so it's going to be a Dolphins ball from the baseline.
Yeah, that's great hands from Naomi Moki. You know, that's a bit of experience there. She knew where the ball was going to be. She stuck her hands where it needed to be, and we got the turnover. So fantastic stop from Nay. And we've also got Elle Hutchins on the court as well.
So Elle Hutchins with the ball now. Tries to find Naomi Moki, but pass goes astray.
Yeah, maybe a few years ago, Naomi might have got that pass. If nobody knows, Naomi Moki's just come back from having a baby. Little Matua's about, I think 3 months old, so we'll excuse her for that one.
We will. As India nearly grabs the steal on that one as the pass comes across to the other wing.
Look, you know, the score is so low. It's 8-10, so once Dolphins gets on a roll, I'm sure they're certainly going to start making some sort of impact, but it just doesn't happen. You know, you've got to obviously make some efforts to get back into the game. It's only 2 points. Here we go, 3-on-1. Oh, great pass back to Rach.
Easy 2 there for Rachel after the pass back.
You're going to have to make sure that all 5 players on the court, you know, don't get that opportunity to go on a roll, and that goes both ways with both teams. But right now, Brisbane is looking like the favourites tonight as far as, you know, they're strong with their movements. They're looking for that open player. They're moving. They're you know, Dolphins needs to just make sure that they're communicating and getting to their plays.
So as the Dolphins start possession of the second quarter, we've got Perkins, Bryant, Pryor, Hutchinson and Moki on the court for the Dolphins. So pick up an early foul in that set.
Well, yes, we've had Myra off for a while, and we've got Jade off as well, so this is an interesting mix. But you've got Nabe Moki inside with Rach. A rare right-hand drive by Rachel, but draws a foul. So great drive by Rach.
So Spees picks up that foul. It's her second. Sends Rachel to the line to shoot 2.
These are shots that you certainly don't want to miss. Rachel's probably about a 60% shooter on the line. So, you know, and she's one of our players. 53% shooter at the line. So, you know, she I guess as a player who's always at the line, really needs to work on getting a better percentage shot.
As the Capitals get a fast break down there then, and an easy 2.
Yeah, that was just way too easy for Capitals.
So find Pryor inside, and that one drops for her. 19 to 14, 9:25 to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, I think we just need to keep it simple for the Dolphins, you know, as what just happened. Mookie passing the ball into Rach making a strong post. But once again, the ball movement from Brisbane, you know, they're moving, and it's just that one extra pass that's making the difference.
So King's going to go to the line to shoot the one. It's 21 to 14, 9 minutes and 9 to go in this second quarter.
So we've got the starters back in once again, so let's hope they can get the scores back closer. 14 to 21, 14 to 22.
So prior to Donkin to Perkins, she puts up the 3 from the corner. That doesn't drop. Quick outlet pass. Donkin there on her own. The foul's going to be called on Kennedy. That's her second personal foul.
Great transition from Brisbane Capitals. You know, the shot was made by Robin, and the players just offensive transition. Cairns Dolphins has got to get back in defensive transition a lot quicker than that.
So Woodford makes the first, 23-14. And 2 from 2. So it's a 10-point lead to the Capitals here with 8:45 to go in this second quarter. This Prize way out on the wing. As Woodford cuts out that pass intended for Perkins. And that drops for her, 26-14. And Coach Williams says it's time to have a chat, ladies, and has called a timeout for the Ken Frost Homes Dolphins.
Yeah, you don't want the unforced errors, you know. There wasn't that much pressure to force that pass. So the girls really need to take care of that, the ball. And, you know, if there is a turnover, we just need to get back as quick as we can. Right now, Brisbane Capitals are running the floor. You know, there's always 2-on-1. Yeah, as you see, Rachel Price passed the ball, and Perkins on defense coming down the court, and and Brisbane Capitals finishing off that shot.
So Coach Williams has certainly got to be talking to the girls about the transition defense, getting back as soon as they can on a missed shot. They're trailing behind a couple of Capitals players who are on the retreat straight away.
Yeah, that's right. You just can't afford to, you know, be flat-footed when it comes to defensive transition. As soon as you know that there's a missed shot or any sort of turnover, your first, you know, aim is just to get back and you know, take the player, regardless of who that player is, whether it's yours or not. Get back and try and, you know, stop the ball, stop something from happening, and then hopefully your players will all get back. But right now, Cairns Dolphins really need to pick up their game, take care of the ball.
As we see another cut out there as they try to find Pryor. Woodford with long arms in there again. Lewis to Neves to Woodford. Woodford puts that shot up. And that's out off Bryant. You see Perkins take a seat as Chelsea Oxlade comes back in. And Elle Hutchinson comes in as well for Ndia Bryant.
You can see that the Brisbane teams, you know, they're looking inside, and if it's not on, they're not forcing it, so they make that extra pass. The next player gets it, and you know, take the opportunity to either dribble in or shoot it. Great defence by Cairns Dolphins. Force a turnover.
So that's a Dolphins ball from the baseline. 12-point lead to the Capitals, 14 to 26. 7:40 to go in this second quarter. As Hutchinson finds Oxlade to Kennedy. Hands in again. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Kennedy puts up a long shot which misses everything. And again, Brisbane down very, very quickly.
Dolphins managed to get back, all forward down back on defence, so that was good to see. We just need to, in this case, we've drawn a foul, but yeah, we need to get something in this possession rather than either turn it over or, at least get some decent shot out of this rather than force the shot up.
So that was a foul called on Bethel. That's her first. Pryor hands off to Donkin, finds Kennedy. As Bethel to Neves, back to Bethel. And the Dolphins end up with that ball after a couple of misses from the Capitals. Hutchinson finds Donkin. De Pryor
nice
finds
pass.
Hutchinson. Doesn't drop. Great hustle from the Dolphins. Kennedy ends up with the ball. Donkin shoots the three. Another offensive rebound for the Dolphins. As Kennedy finds Pryor, and once again on her left, it drops. As this time the Capitals have called for a timeout. 16 points to 26, the Capitals lead. 6 minutes 18 to go in this second quarter.
That was great ball movement by the Dolphins, and it didn't drop for Jade, but the girls kept persevering, and Rach with the finish. We're just going to have to work for our baskets tonight, and it's we need players like Maury Donkin to be shooting the three. We haven't really had a few three-point shots up tonight, except for the fact that Robin Perkins has shot a couple of threes, but we need the others to also start putting up those shots.
So the Capitals will certainly got a lot of transition offense happening there in those last couple of minutes. Got the tempo of the game up quite a bit, and it broke out to that 10-point lead. So they'd obviously be looking to try and keep that pace going.
That's right. They're certainly executing the offensive transition really well. I've just looked over, and yet their coach is Bronwyn Marshall, or was Bronwyn Marshall when I knew her back in the days, and she's an Australian player. So she's a very smart player. So she'd be telling her players, obviously giving them the advice of making sure they keep defensively, get back. And that's the reason I would say of the ball movement that they're doing, Take care of the ball, be safe with it, value it. Move it around, look at the gaps, find the openings. Don't force it. And a smart play, didn't drop, but, drew the defense and drove. Oh, great cut by Elle.
It's 2 points to Hutchinson, brings the lead back to 8. 18 to 26, 5:45 to go in this second quarter.
So we've got Dolphins set up in the zone defense.
As Reid puts up that three, that doesn't drop for her.
And that's exactly what you want when you're setting up a zone defense. You want the players to take the shots from outside.
As unfortunately Kennedy hit the floor there, and the pass went across the backcourt.
Once again, another turnover, which we can't afford to do.
So 9th turnover for the Dolphins in this half. As Lewis across to Neves. He gets that to, it's back out to 10 points, 28 to 18, just under 5 minutes to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, great shot from Neves. Look, Dolphins are doing a great job on the zone defense, but what's happening is they're collapsing in too much. So by doing that, they're leaving the people on the outside, or the players on the outside, open for that shot. Once again,
A couple of quick outlet passes, unfortunately for the Capitals, couldn't connect on that last pass, but it was straight down the other end of the floor very
That's right.
quickly.
yeah, that was a hopeful pass, but like you said, offensive transition, you know, they're just quick to get to their spots.
Hutchinson can't get that one to drop. 4 minutes and 15 to go in this second quarter. 10-point lead to the Capitals.
Great defense from Jade Kennedy not to stick a hand in and draw the foul.
As Neves puts up that three, that doesn't drop either. This time it's Donkin on the fast break. She's going to go to the line for two.
Yeah, that call could have gone either way. It could have been a jump ball, but in this case, fortunate for Myra Donkins, it was a foul, and see her at the line.
So Donkin, a 75% free throw shooter. Gets 2 from 2. So it's 20 to 28. 3 minutes 58 to go in this second quarter.
The zone defense seems to have made a difference. It hasn't given Brisbane that opportunity to move the ball around as quick and finding the gaps. A lot of their shots so far has been around the top of the keyway. So Cairns Dolphins slowly making their way back into the game. It's a very young outfit, the Brisbane team. Great hands from Jade Kennedy. Ooh.
Pride did everything right there except for actually put it in the hole.
Yeah.
Unfortunate that one for the Dolphins. Some changes for the Capitals as Woodford comes back onto the court. So Lewis puts up the three. Doesn't drop. Bryant taps it back and it ends up with Woodford. Aldred gets the foul called on Donkin.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Looking at the foul counts, Brisbane's on 4 and Dolphins now on 3. Yeah, putting on the defense pressure, but unfortunately just got her hands in. So as a coach, you'd want to take advantage of the 4 fouls that Brisbane's on.
As Andy has gone down here with crutching at her ankle.
Yeah, this does not look good, but
She's landed awkwardly on that foot. She's got up and she's walking it off.
so right now we've got 4 fouls as well as Brisbane Capitals. So let's see which team's going to take advantage of the foul situation.
As Aldred puts up the shot, doesn't drop for her.
Perkins back on the court. And great finish by Perkins.
So 22 to 28. It's back to a 6-point ball game. 2:45 to go in this second quarter. Dolphins have done well in this zone defense. As Woodford finds Bethel, puts up that 2, doesn't drop. unfortunately, last touch off Pryor, and it's going to be a Capitals ball.
Yeah, the defence, zone defence is working well. We just need to make sure that we've got body on body sometimes. You know, we've got Brisbane Capitals running in, going for the first and second efforts for their rebounds. So Cairns Dolphins really needs to work on making sure that doesn't happen.
So Woodford finds Reid, back to Woodford to Bethel. And again across the baseline off the Dolphins. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Capitals to get up a shot. Reid again puts up the shot. That one doesn't fall. And Kennedy comes down with a very strong rebound.
We've got 3 on 2.
And that's a foul called on Woodford. As we see Hutchinson try to get the ball to Pryor, but Woodford was just in the way trying to block.
It was actually a lucky call for Hutchins. Trying to get that pass to Rachel certainly would have been a difficult pass.
She makes the first, but doesn't make the second. So 23 to 28, 2 minutes to go in this first half. A lot of ball movement here from the Capitals. That one doesn't drop, and that's going to be a foul called on Bethel as she comes in over the top.
Yeah, great ball movement by Brisbane. You know, fortunate for Cairns, the shot didn't drop, and that's basically been the difference of the game. Our Cairns Dolphins shots haven't dropped. And a foul over the back by Bethel.
So Kennedy at the line now for 2, makes the first. And the second, so we've got a 3-point ball game here. 1:48 to go in the second quarter. Low scoring game, 25-28 this week.
The zone defence seems to have slowed Brisbane's fast break, which is working well for the Dolphins. Once again, Brisbane finding the gaps, driving through, and making that extra pass to the person cutting through.
So King was the one that was able to find a way along the baseline there for those two. As she's going to get called for that foul, reaching across the top of Pryor.
I have to say King's doing a great job around the keyway. You know, she's moving and she's posting up well, and she's wanting the ball. So we just need to make sure that we're aware of it, especially when she's up against the smaller players. And here we go, we've got Rachel who's cut through, received the pass, drawing the foul for her 2 shots. She's made her first shot.
So 26-30 with just over a minute to go in this first half. They find King, cut out by Pryor. This time it's Pryor on the fast break. Cross to Donkin. Can't get the shot up before the help defence arrives.
Nice movement.
As this time Perkins puts up the 2 from the free throw line. Doesn't go.
I'm surprised she didn't take the 3. She was open for the 3 and decided to do the perimeter shot.
As this time it's Kennedy who cuts off the inside pass to King.
So Myra setting the team up, trying to get 1 shot before their 20 seconds. Yeah, that's a shame we didn't use up our 24 seconds, or, you know, if we wanted to, we could have had a quick shot, which unfortunately did not drop, and then had another possession of the ball.
So Williams checks in for Pryor, who gets an extra 25-second break before half-time. Still in the zone, the Dolphins. They find King on the elbow. Doesn't drop for her. Does. And some heavy work inside there by Plummer. And that's half-time, 32 points to 26. The Capitals leading the Ken Frost Homes Dolphins. A little bit of a fizzer those last couple of possessions there for the Dolphins. Had the opportunity to make a little bit closer at half-time, but couldn't get those shots to drop.
Yeah, that's right. When you've got possession of the ball with 30 seconds to go, you know, you want to be able to make sure that you're the team that finishes off with the last shot. You know, that didn't happen for us. So you just get back in defence, try and make a stop, regain possession again. You know, credit to Brisbane. They fought and crashed the boards and wanted that ball. But, yeah, you can't just stop playing. You've got to make sure you take care of the ball, you know, whether it's, well, offensively, of course, but defensively you cannot just stop, you know, just because there's only 5 seconds to go or 10 seconds. These sort of games, you know, yes, we're not in finals contention, but these are the type of games that are important for next year. So you want to be practicing that sort of stuff now, you know, especially if you're looking at bringing in the same group of girls back again. You know, rotate the players, see what combinations work for you as a coach. Obviously reward the players that want to be out there and that are, you know, giving their best. And you want players who are going to be there till the very last part, you know, second of the game, regardless of whether it's the last part of the quarter, half, 3/4, fourth quarter.
So the coaches will be having their say here at half-time. We'll take a short break here from Early Settler Stadium and we'll be back in about 5 minutes to bring you the second half of this game from the Early Settler Stadium for our Ken Frost Homes Dolphins and the Brisbane Capitals. And welcome back to Early Settler Stadium. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We've got the Ken Frost Homes Dolphins trailing the Brisbane Capitals. I was going to say Canberra Capitals. 26-32 at halftime in our women's game of the QBL tonight. Certainly an interesting first half there, Jenny. The Dolphins got off to a very slow start. Transition defence wasn't their best. The Capitals were getting up and down the court very quickly, but then they went to a zone in that second quarter and it seemed to slow them down quite a bit.
Yeah, that's right. The zone defence has certainly worked for Cairns Dolphins. It's stopped their fast break transition. We're getting back and, we're packing it in. We just have to make sure that and hope that Brisbane Capitals don't start dropping the shots from outside, especially on the three-point line. There's great movement by Brisbane Capitals. I'm really impressed by the way they move the ball and their execution around the keyway. Certainly well drilled by Bronwyn Marshall. And, credit to Cairns Dolphins. We've brought the game back to 6 points, so we certainly have a game on our hands. Now, really, it's just about Dolphins taking care of the ball. Time and time again, week in, week out, it seems to be the one thing that lets them down because otherwise they are a competitive team. That was one of our sponsors, Gary from Sports World.
I think he was trying to get your daughter on who hasn't suited up tonight. Summer Evans not playing with that niggling injury. And he was certainly calling for her to suit up and get her on the court tonight.
Yeah, look, Summer's not going to be... she'll just finish off the season on the bench and support the team where she can. And look forward to next year. A back injury is certainly something you don't want to aggravate. And as a young player, it's not worth it. And so she's made the decision to, just turn up to training, support the team, and learn from the players that she's involved with. And obviously, just be a part of it. And that's what you want when you're a junior. You want to feel like you're part of the team.
Yeah, certainly supporting the team, it definitely helps. And just getting back to that zone defence, how it slowed down the Capitals. They were shooting at over 45% in that first quarter, but now at halftime, both teams are shooting 33%. So their shooting percentage in that second quarter was certainly diminished with that zone defence that the Dolphins were able to put in place.
Yeah, it's certainly low scoring. They are getting the shots, and if anything, they're not really getting a lot of shots away. Both teams, it's the percentages are not that great, but if you look at Brisbane, they're moving the ball around and they're using up pretty much the whole 24-second clock. So when you're moving the ball around, you're probably only going to get one shot away, and unless you get the offensive rebound. But with Dolphins, the only reason why we're not getting such a great percentage besides missing the shots is because we're also forcing a lot of unforced errors, So if we take care of the ball in this half, hopefully we can either get the game, obviously as close as it is now, or even ahead.
So the Dolphins have only put up 30 shots where the Capitals have put up 39. But Pryor top scoring at the moment with 11 points. And the Capitals start with possession in this second half. Starting five back on court for the Dolphins.
Right, and I've noticed we're back into man-to-man defence, so that's interesting considering it was zone defence that got us back into the game. I'm guessing Kerry Williams just wants to see how the girls go. Hopefully they've got rid of not the nervousness, but pretty much, hopefully it'll change the ball game around. And as we speak, Robin gets her first three-point shot in. So let's hope that this is a bit of a turnaround for the Dolphins.
So that cuts the lead to 3 points, 29-32 with that three-pointer that's gone down for Perkins. Capitals again distributing the ball very well. That one doesn't drop for him, and Bryant comes away with the rebound.
And a beautiful move by India Bryant to the basket. And once again, she's going to have to start doing things like that, be aggressive, take the ball to the basket. And, when you're aggressive, things start to happen for your team.
So great cut by Woodford, found by a great pass from Bethel. 2 points for the Capitals, 34-31, 8 minutes 33 to go. as I think the Capitals coach called for a travel there.
Yeah, they was very lucky that Robin Perkins didn't get called for the travel. Now we've got Rachel with 3 seconds. That last playing defense was really, I would have to say, poor. You know, all the Dolphins had to do was move their feet to get to the ball rather than just reach in. And we've got another 3 seconds violation by Brisbane Capitals. By Bethel. Rachel Pryor screaming for that 5 seconds.
And I don't think Coach Marshall liked that call very much at all. So Kennedy finds Perkins. This time she steps back. And those two drop for Robin Perkins. She has an early start to this third quarter.
It's a great start by Robin Perkins, so let's hope she continues that. Great rebound by Jade Kennedy. And Cairns Dolphins, this time going on their fast break.
As that ball goes off the Capitals, it's going to be a Dolphins ball from the baseline. You see Perkins try to step around, but Lewis there was great defense.
Yeah, you have to have better decision making with that fast break. Great shot from India. Oh.
Unlucky there for Kennedy. She
Yeah.
had it but lost it.
Sometimes that's where you want your bigs to just, you know, be able to get the ball and have the guard come to them and take it off them. So Perkins feeling it.
Go to the hot hand, as they say. She's got 8 points already in this quarter. 38-36, the Dolphins have taken the lead. 6 minutes 45 to go in this third quarter. As Bethel probing her way, finds Woodford, who takes a couple of extra steps.
Yeah, great defense by Cairns Dolphins.
As Neves calling for the Capitals to push up on this possession.
So India fighting to get free.
They find Pryor, back to Kennedy, who drives all the way to the basket. And those 2 points drop for Kennedy as the Dolphins now lead 40-36. 6 minutes 12 to go. This time it's Bethel going for the line, and it's a block by Pryor. Donkin cross to Bryant, and those 2 points are down as well. And I think we're going to have a timeout here.
Excellent effort by Cairns Dolphins to not only get back in the game, to be 6 points ahead of Brisbane Capitals.
As the crowd certainly cheering as the Dolphins make their way across to the bench there. As we'll see this excellent block here by Pryor. As Donkin then has to fight for the ball. Gets through, finds Bryant.
That's right, draws the two players and then kicks it out to Bryant on the side. Great finish off. I'd say what's happened is Brisbane's come into this quarter probably thinking that Cairns Dolphins going to continue playing zone defence, and maybe that's probably upset their play in offence. But at one point it even looked like Cairns was also playing a zone defence, so maybe that's confused them a little bit because they're now, you know, forcing the ball, making the turnovers, which is what Cairns Dolphins were doing in the first half. But the other thing I've also noticed is that the defence on Dolphins' end is also picked up. You know, we're actually a couple of times, yes, we maybe lapsed, but we're moving around, we're getting our hands up, we're going to where the ball, we're just putting body on body, you know, we're not relying on someone else to do it. We're working and we're moving around as a team. So forcing turnovers for Brisbane Capitals.
And they say quite a bit that defence creates offence, and that was certainly the case in a lot of those possessions in that quarter.
That's exactly right. That's what you want to tell your juniors, you know, great defence. Just the offence just starts to flow. it's a feeling of accomplishment. You know, you've done something great and you want to finish it off. And also the shots for Brisbane aren't dropping like they did in the first half.
It's going to be a baseline ball for the Capitals. Called out off Kennedy.
Jadid Kennedy and Rachel Pryor doing a great job rebounding and just watching the baseline and communicating as well. Great take by Myra Donkin. Not to be called a foul, and then we've got a jump ball. Well, Dolphins possession. So Brisbane Capitals with a full court press.
As they find Perkins, puts up another three. That one doesn't drop for her. And Woodford comes up with the rebound for the Capitals. Still a 6-point lead to the Dolphins. As Lewis drains those two for the Capitals, brings it back to a 4-point game.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch Lewis because she has been consistent around that area, especially in the first half.
So Pryor now finds Donkin. Tries to get it back to Pryor, but she's dispossessed by Bethel. Woodford finds Lewis, who gets another two. And this time it's Coach Williams who's called a timeout as the Capitals bring it back to a 2-point ball game. Dolphins lead 42-40 with 4:53 to go in this second half.
Yeah, certainly a good decision by Kerry Williams to have this timeout because unfortunately with Cairns Dolphins we've seen time and time again where we've done one turnover and then there's 2 and 3. So, you know, just to have this timeout sort of stops that from happening.
So as I just saw in that replay how Lewis has got those points in that one, she's been able to free herself up and get a couple of easy shots, and she's taking the Capitals on her shoulders and bringing them back into this game.
Yeah, that's right. Lewis has certainly been consistent tonight. You know, whoever's got her in defence really need to watch her. All she's doing is doing a basic cut to the top of the keyway. She's, you know, making those shots, and it's anywhere around the 45 at the top. So Cairns has got to be aware of that and put a stop to that. But, you know, once again, it's movement. She's moving all the time. And if offense is going to move, or you've got to move in defense as well. You can't just expect others to take a player on. You've got to communicate and pass players on.
So as the teams come out from that timeout, it's once again a full court press from the Capitals. And a cutout pass, Bethel.
Yeah, that's the sort of passes you get told time and time again never to make. Those court side passes, you know, full court passes from one end to the other.
This time Perkins fakes for the three but drives to the basket.
Yeah, Perkins probably should have passed that back out.
So it's going to be a Dolphins ball from the sideline once the floor sweepers have cleaned up the little bit of moisture on the court here. Dolphins were still with a 2-point lead with 4:27 to go.
You know, as a player, you're, like Robin Perkins, you know, you've shot a few threes, you've got your first 3 baskets in, and so you're feeling hot, and sometimes you've got to make a decision whether, you know, it's just tempting. You want to start doing everything. So she's got to start thinking whether she needs to move the ball around a little bit more, make that extra pass.
There's another turnover there for the Dolphins. Neves has left the ball behind, puts up the long 3, doesn't drop for her, and Perkins is off to the races. Back to Bryant, who finds Kennedy. Donkin to Pryor, back to Perkins. This time it's Bryant to Kennedy, back to Perkins. Certainly a lot of passes in that possession. Didn't drop for the Dolphins there. They're still with a 2-point lead, just under 4 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, it looked like no one wanted to take that shot or even attack And Brisbane Capitals 21 left wide open with a shot.
Yes, Aldred was there, definitely not looked after on that possession.
You've just got to slow it down and find, in this case, Jade Kennedy shoots a three.
So 45-42, Dolphins out by those 3 points, 3 minutes 15 to go. Aldred out to Woodford, who cuts around Pryor, doesn't fall for her. Perkin grabs the rebound.
It's an important shot for Cairns Dolphins, and Andia finishing off a perimeter shot as usual. Beautiful shot.
So it takes the margin out to a 5-point lead for the Ken Frost Holmes Dolphins. Aldridge with the ball.
They've just got, Cairns Dolphins just needs to play a solid defence.
As Donkin gives away the foul in the corner.
It's a first team foul for both teams, or for Dolphins. So, yeah, and there we've got Myra, yeah, not moving her feet quick enough to cut that off. It's a first team foul for Dolphins. Brisbane on 0 team fouls. So not only low scoring, but also low.
As Reid puts in another three. Oh, sorry, as Lewis puts in another three for the Capitals.
Yeah, Lewis having a great game tonight in the shooting sense. Being very active in defence as well, very vocal.
As Pryor gets 2 points, 49-45. Dolphins in front, 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And I'm surprised we're still playing man-to-man defence, you know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the fourth quarter. Great take by Rachel.
And finished by Elle Hutchinson. She picks up the 2 points for the Dolphins, 51-45. Minute 35 to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, great work by Elle Hutchins to keep hustling, you know, and then being rewarded at the end of that. The rotation in defence is just not working for Dolphins.
So as we see Williams come on the court now for Bryant.
Chelsea Oxlade on for India, Bryant, and LJ coming on for Rachel Pryor. So that's an interesting substitutions for both. And we've gone back to zone defence with LJ back in the middle.
So Lewis puts up another three. That one doesn't drop. Ball falls for Donkin. 4 point lead to the Dolphins with under a minute to go in this third quarter. Hutchinson puts up the two.
Yep.
Takes it out to a 6 point ball game. Plummer now with the ball. Finds Reid. Again to Lewis. To Woodford. Back to Reid, she puts up the three. Doesn't fall for her. The rebound by Moki.
So hopefully Dolphins will do a better job with this last 25 seconds. So once again, we don't get the last possession of the ball in the quarter. That's where the point guard has to be mindful. You know, I've got to go up and get the ball and run a play at the end rather than just players passing and passing.
So the Capitals with the chance to cut the lead with 7 seconds left to go in this quarter. Lewis finds Reid. Back to Lewis. Puts up the 3 point shot. Doesn't fall for them. So at 3/4 time here at Early Settler Stadium, the Dolphins have had a huge third quarter, 53-47 they lead. A great effort in the third quarter by the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's right. You know, in the first part of the third quarter, we had they picked up their defence. Their shots were falling. We had Robin Perkins shooting the first 8 points. So, you know, we've come into the third quarter, but we need to make sure that we, you know, continue that performance. We can't just take it easy. And you know, Lewis is probably the danger player with the Brisbane Capitals tonight. You know, she's on fire, not only inside and around the perimeter, she's also shot a few threes. So Dolphins really need to be aware of making sure that she doesn't continue on.
Yeah, this third quarter, the Dolphins outscored the Capitals 28-15, so it was certainly a big effort. Defence, as you said, picked up, created those offensive shots. Perkins hit some early threes. Kennedy hit a three as well. It was just a bit of a shared offense there from the Dolphins, and they got the points on the board.
Yeah, that's right. We've got the Dolphins back into the game, and now we have to be smart about what we're doing. So offensively, you know, like you said, let's share the ball. Let's find the players who are open for the shot. Let's not force the shots, you know. Defensively, we really have to move our feet. Let's not just expect mediocre. If you want to win this game, we're going to have to work really hard. Both teams are going to have the mentality of, you know, who wants this game? You know, who's going to take charge? So it's really important for the point guards, and in this case with Maury Donkin, making sure. Right now she's got a young outfit on the court with her, so she's going to have to make sure she's pretty much the general on the court, you know. I would say they're going back into a zone defense with LJ in the middle, and a lot of communication to make sure they get a stop.
As the Capitals come out with their two high scorers being Woodford and Lewis.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit of a chopping foul on that as the ball was poked out by Donkin.
And it's great to see Chelsea Oxlade in the first five, out there in the fourth quarter. You know, Coach Williams has certainly got a shot by.
As Lewis gets another two.
Yeah, like I was saying, Kerry Williams has got some confidence with Chelsea, and she performed well on their road trip last weekend, and she's pretty much continuing that performance. So great work by Chelsea Oxlade.
She's unfortunately out-rebounded there by Reed then. But Lewis finds Woodford, who finds Reed.
Yeah, we've certainly got a smaller team out on the court, bar LJ.
As LJ brings down that rebound off a missed shot from.
Once again, a turnover that we did not need.
And Reed to Lewis around the outside again.
Oh.
Woodford driving,
So
gets cut off.
6 seconds on the clock.
And Aldridge misses everything, and it's going to be a Dolphins ball as some of the more experienced Dolphins come back onto the court, Pryor and Kennedy. So the Dolphins with a 4-point lead, 8:40 to go in this final term here at Early Settler Stadium. Donkin picked up a dribble, had to pass it off. Neves now with it, finds Lewis.
Ooh.
Plummer puts up the shot, and that drops. So it's a 2-point ball game, 51-53. The Ken Frost Homes Dolphins in front. Elle Hutchinson now finds Pryor.
Pryor going to work.
And she's blocked from behind by Plummer. Neves finds Reed. A long pass across to Lewis, who's left open again. Doesn't drop for her though. As Hutchinson brings the ball.
Yeah, we really need to make use of this possession. You know, we just can't afford to force those passes. You know, if the pass isn't on, don't pass it. Great pass from Rachel Pryor. Unfortunately, Chelsea doesn't finish off. When a game's this close, you want to be able to finish off those shots.
So Neves back to Lewis. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Neves puts up the shot. Plummer comes down with a rebound, but it ends up with Donkin.
It's got fairly physical inside the keyway a few times down the court.
As Donkin puts up that shot, doesn't fall for her.
And that's a shot that Moira's got to look at. You know, that is a shot that she's got a great percentage with.
So Plummer.
Great defense by Chelsea Oxlade.
Possession arrows going to the Dolphins. So you see Oxlade puts her hands in, gets pushed away by Plummer, but she doesn't give up on the play on the floor and ties Plummer up to cause the jump ball. So the Dolphins with a chance to extend their lead, 53-51, 6:40 to go in this final term. And Dia Bryant and Robin Perkins back on the court for the Dolphins. So it's the starting five.
Great drive by Moira Donkin.
So Reid with the ball handling duties up the court this time. Lewis finds Plummer, back to Lewis. Great defense by the Dolphins there. Neves now.
That's a shame, only 4 seconds left on the clock to go. And Moira Donkin sticking her hands in. You can see that Brisbane's got a bit of urgency here. We've got Neves driving to the basket, drawing the foul from Moira Donkin, sticking her hand in. Not much contact there, but, you know, you just can't stick your hand in.
So that's Donkin's third foul for the night. One from two there for Neves.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Williams goes back to his own defence. You know, because you've got Brisbane who move the ball around really well. You know, everyone's getting to some spot and they're always creating something. So with the zone defence, that stopped that from happening.
You see Kennedy just drive to the basket there all the way through.
Great drive by Jade Kennedy. Sort of gives them a bit of a breather, the 5 points, even though it's only 5 points, but 5 points makes a huge difference.
So as Lewis finds a way to the free throw, puts up those two. They drop for the Capitals. It's 3 points to game, 57-54. As Perkins is fouled by Woodford, and she'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, Lewis certainly being the problem for Cairns Dolphins tonight. She's certainly been the biggest threat, and Cairns Dolphins needs to find a way to stop her from taking the shot. She's everything seems to be dropping for her, so defensively someone's just got to stop that.
Perkins makes the first one. And the second takes her points tally up to 14. 14 also for Lewis for the Capitals. As Neves brings the ball up this time and sets the play. Neves driving, puts up a tough shot. That drops for her. Still just a 3-point ball game, 59-56. 5 minutes to go in this game.
Great
as
pass.
Perkins finds Pryor.
Yeah, right now with offense for Brisbane Capitals, it's pass and screen, on-ball screens, and the play taking the ball to the basket. And as you said, great finish off by Neves.
We see here Pryor just caught under the basket, but she's fouled as she puts up the shot. She makes her first.
Rachel's would be probably 50-60% shooting tonight, you know, so that is her average shooting percentage. And it's great to see that she's, you know, finishing the shots off, especially in this time of the game when it's fairly close.
So Woodford now for the Capitals finds Plummer, across to Neves. She drives again,
Great
and that's
hits.
poked away from behind by Pryor. Bryant finds Hutchinson, back to Bryant, who drives.
Nice drive.
Excellent right-hand curl.
Beautiful drive and execution by India, finishing off with that hook shot. Yeah.
So 4 minutes 20 to go. Another turnover there for the Capitals. As the pass goes behind India, and the Capitals have got it back. 63-56. The Ken Frost Homes Dolphins in front. 4 minutes to go in this game here at Early Settler Stadium. So Bethel now cuts away through it. The double, scores those two, makes it a 5-point ball game. As Perkins is
We've got a few words out there by Neve and Perkins.
as we'll see here on the replay, as Perkins is dribbling the ball down. Seems like she gets pushed a little from Bethel.
Yeah, I'm surprised the foul wasn't called, but that was unfortunate for Perkins. You know, once again, Cairns just needs to take care of the ball.
As again, Lewis has the ball as she barges away to the basket.
Lewis working hard under the basket.
Woodford finds Plummer, who finds a cutting Lewis, and that's another 2 points for Lewis. It's back to a 3-point ball game, 63-60. 3 minutes 15 to go in this game. Bryant kicks it back out to Kennedy, who finds Donkin. And Donkin's been fouled by Neves.
It's a foul that you needed, or
We just see here Donkin cutting, drives to the basket, and yeah, the hands come down across as she goes for the layup. So Donkin at the line for two to extend the lead for the Dolphins. She makes the first. But misses the second, so it's a 4-point ball game with just over 3 minutes to go.
Dolphins just getting in front and just can't hold that, you know, more than 4 or 5 points. And unfortunately, it's usually the turnovers. Once again, Lewis working very hard. Now Lewis hasn't stopped working, and you know she's finding the gaps. She cuts where she needs to get to, receives the ball from her teammates. Oh, yeah.
So the referees are just discussing what sort of call this is going to be, as it's just been called as a standard foul.
Yeah.
As Bethel picks up her third foul.
I think if I was Rachel, I think I'd be happy with that common foul. and an important one too. You know, it's put them on 4 fouls. So Cairns Dolphins in the bonus. So let's hope that someone is aware of that.
As Perkins shoots another long three.
That
We're right
looked-
behind that.
yeah.
Wasn't going to miss. It was.
That looked perfect, didn't it? Even the technique of the follow through from Robin Perkins, absolutely perfect.
So it's back out to a 7-point lead for the Dolphins, 67-60. Just over 2 minutes to go. Again, Neves.
Neve's just taking it to Myra Donkin, you know. Every time she receives the ball, she's got her head down and she's just attacking the basket. Yes, Myra's playing great defense and just you know, Neves is actually making that contact. She's drawing the foul, and that's a smart play.
So we've got a timeout here with 2 minutes 11 seconds to go. 67 to 60 lead to our Ken Frost Holmes Dolphins. 7 points is not a lot, and 2 minutes to go. Anything can happen, Jenny.
7 points is not a lot, but I think I would rather be the team that's 7 points up. You know, it's really important in the next 2 minutes that Cairns has just got to make some stops. You know, obviously you want to get your shots in, but defense is going to be so crucial in this last 2 minutes because if you can make that stops, it just gives your team that bit of, you know, confidence, and obviously you're going to have the clock on your side. So let's hope that Dolphins, when they have any possession, are going to use the clock to their advantage. And that's where your point guard is going to be so important to the game, you know. They're going to have to be the one to be basically the general on the court. Let's make sure the ball is not in the big's hand. Let's make sure that if there's going to be a press, that I'm going to have to go and get it. Or, you know, your 1, 2s and 3s are going to be the ones that are going to handle the ball and not your bigs. Brisbane's going to come out and obviously be all over them defensively, so they're going to have to take care of that ball. They, you know, value that ball like I say always, and be smart with it. Don't panic.
So we've got Neves at the line, misses her first.
Yeah, very important basket. But for Dolphins, a bit of a breather.
So she gets the back end of that, so it's a 6-point ball game.
So Brisbane Capitals applying the full court pressure. Oh, nice. Great move by India. She saw that gap and she took it. There was a bit of a lack of communication on Brisbane Capitals' part, and India taking advantage of that.
So we just see India here as she sees that grab, goes straight through it, and the foul's been called on Bethel. That's her fourth.
And a beautiful finish, you know, a soft left-hand layup.
So Lewis now going at Pryor, finds Woodford, doesn't fall for her.
Great defense by Myra Donking, not allowing Lewis to finish off that shot. You know, Lewis was wanting to make contact. And this is where you don't want your turnovers, you know. A turnover you weren't expecting 8 seconds up the floor.
So the Dolphins back in that zone. As they find Reed to Woodford. This time it's Neves that puts up the 3.
Now they just need to make sure they take care of the ball and use the clock.
So just got over a minute to go. It's 8-point lead to the Dolphins. They find Pryor with 8 seconds left to go, and she makes 2 points there. So that takes it out to a 10-point lead. A minute and 6 seconds to go. Capitals have got some work to do. As Lewis puts up a 3, in but out.
It's just a matter of taking care of the ball. You know, the clock right now is the enemy for Cairns Dolphins. So Myra Donkin doing a great job, you know, using up the clock, but she does need some assistance from her teammates to, you know, have the ball moved around. You want to be able to, you'd rather pass it than be dribbling the ball. But if you're going to dribble it, draw a foul.
So she drew that foul and she's on the line now to shoot 2. She makes the first, extends the lead out to 11 points. Only 41 seconds left to go on the clock.
So the Dolphins have done well to get to this stage. You know, certainly taking care of the ball, applied the pressure on Brisbane. Brisbane being the ones forced to panic.
So there's another turnover there for the Capitals. The Dolphins have got this one in the bag. 31 seconds to go, 12 points the margin. It's Kennedy inbounds to Bryant.
And right now, yeah, what you want is just ball movement.
As that'll be the 5th foul on Bethel. She'll take a seat for the last 20 seconds. And Donkin's going to go to the line to shoot another 2. Makes that one, takes it out to a 13-point lead.
So Dolphins just need to finish off this game with some credibility, you know. Enjoy the win and be smart about it, you know. Let's enjoy the last 15 seconds of this game and not get too emotional.
As I think the Capitals are just going to pass it out for the last few seconds as well.
Fantastic effort by Cairns Dolphins.
So after taking the Townsville Flames to overtime last night, the Capitals have gone down to the Ken Frost Homes Dolphins here at Early Settlers Stadium, 75-61. Early signs were not good for the Dolphins, but they certainly came out after half-time and put the effort in on the court, both offensively and defensively, to get that win tonight.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference was in the second half, we didn't do as many turnovers as we did in the first half. And that, you know, it makes a huge difference in any game. We also did finish off well with our shooting. Brisbane Capitals not as accurate with their shooting in the second half as they were in the first. And Cairns also picked up, like you said, in their defence as well, which then, you know, followed on with their offence. So great win by Cairns Dolphins.
It's certainly a well-deserved win, and great to get a win on their home court for their second last home game. We'll be back next weekend, Jenny, 4th of August. Great day, great game, and thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you back here at Early Settlers Stadium next Saturday night when the Cairns Dolphins are back on the court.